Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. What's up? Welcome. It's the George Mason Show. There we are. There you go. I love that applause, baby. It's all good. And thank you for tuning in, for joining us. And we got a good show lined up for you tonight. Good show. We have Roz Nixon, Patience Higgins, jazz expert, specialist, I should say. And Roz is executive producer of events, and they're going to come out in a minute and set it off. I want to welcome you, as I said, but first I'd like to give my condolences and say rest in peace to a good friend of mine that recently passed away, Joe Hunt. And Joe was a screenwriter, very creative and very good at what he did. And rest in peace, Joe. He recently passed away. And condolences to him, his family, and sleep in peace, big brother. And hey, man, I'm going to pick up the slack and where you left off with it and do what I do. And I also, last week was my first show, and I'll be honest with you. I was a little nervous and I was a little bit all over the place. And I had a couple of shout outs, but I didn't see it, didn't acknowledge it because, again, my first time, I just wasn't aware. But I want to say to you, Sugar, thank you for tuning in and the whole Tom and the Hawk organization. I grew up with them when I was 10 years old, and it's a blessing all throughout the years to have known you. And Delia, I see you, baby girl. It's my sister. She says condolences to the Hunt family as well. Thank you, baby girl. Good to see you in the house. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. I love you. But I just also, like I said, the Sugar and the Tomahawk organization, thank you. Good looking out and for the support. I definitely appreciate it. And Money Mob, my brother, I want to thank you. And I checked his show comes on. It's the Money Mob Report from 10 to 12 on Sunday nights. And I was in the house the past Sunday. He had a guest on, and he was phenomenal. A young brother that was spitting some positive lyrics. You want to call him a hip hop artist. He's an artist for sure, no question about that. But very positive. I didn't hear the brother curse one time. He did freestyle, but he's got some really good stuff. And listen up, his name is Barry Mars, Marz, Z as in zebra, Barry Mars, and I enjoyed that. Again, Money Mob report from 10 to 12 p.m. On the Money Mob report. Hit him up. What's up, Jose? My brother. God bless you, and thank you for tuning in, big bro. Good to see you. I love you. You know that. It's all good. And shout him out. Give my man Jose a round of applause. Give everybody a round of applause. Man. Yeah, that's right. We rocking the overtime. It's all good. But you know what I wanted to do before I bring the guests out? I some stuff that's always, is interesting to me. Like with Italians. I love Italians. For a while I thought I was Italian. Big up the Italians. I love pasta, love lasagna. Who doesn't? Spaghetti. My man, Chucky Chuck Rap. Hey, baby. Yes, sir. Salute to you as well. Tell Ross Nixon. She hears you. No doubt. But it's all good. Yeah, Italians. If another Italian, your Goomba, invites you for lunch or dinner, don't go. You're going to get whacked. That's when you're not coming back. Stay home, make some sausage and peppers. Salute to you, brother. No doubt. Yeah, don't go to dinner. I don't know. I just said, you know what? That to me, I just never got that. That's when they whack each other out. They're good friends and buddies and grow up together. It's incredible. And is golf a sport or is that a recreational activity? there's no sweating in golf. I don't think anything where you don't sweat is deemed a sport. That's how I see it. I mean, golf, of course, is very strategical. It's not easy as people might think it is, but still, they don't sweat. I think if they ran down the fairway, the opponent, was running down the fairway and ran in front of the hole, blocked the hole, and try to block this shot, or bump the guy on the fairway or something like that. There's no doubt. Thanks, partner. I appreciate that. It's all good. And yeah, that's how my take on golf. Some kind of, and race the cards. There should be a golf, what do you call that? A card race as well. Huh? Stop it. So good. My phone is going on. It's blowing up. I don't know what that bill collect was. Incredible. They don't give a fuck. It's a live show. They still calling. You feel me? And boxing. I love boxing. I'm old school, as you can tell. And I go back to the old days with Ali and Cosell. I bring those two up because they used to hype it up. They used to sell the sport itself. You know how it was interesting how Howard Cosell used to come out. Hello, everybody, once again. This is Howard Cosell coming to you live tonight from the George Mason Show located here in New York City. I have here with me, he's been called brash, verbose, obnoxious, self-centered, egotistical, a ham, if you will. I'm talking about, of course, the one, the only, former heavyweight champ of the world, Muhammad Ali. I'm bad, I'm fast, I'm quick, I'm pretty. Ain't nobody bad than me. I'm the baddest man in the world. I'm so fast, if I turn the light out, I'm in bed for the room dog. And we loved it. We loved it. And then, when Mike Tyson, when he came along, I used to indulge back then. I used to get high. And I was getting high one night. I was fucked up. I was, twisted, drinking like good tequila, and sniffing. And I heard Mike, and I never heard the brother before. He was big and the whole thing, and he started Mike Tyson. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't know if it was the drug or what. Mike Tyson, no, ain't nobody bad, man. The biggest, baddest man in the world. And I tried to turn the fucking tape, tried to adjust that shit. I was like, yo, Mike, shut the fuck up. Mike, you got enough money, you could hire somebody to talk for you. Elmer Fudd laughs at Mike Tyson. But yeah, that shit was like, what's up, James? Yo, you crazy, B. Straight up. You talking about you still get high? I hear you, no doubt. But yeah, I had to leave it alone because I couldn't handle it, man. I sniffed cocaine. I smoked it, base. I even drank that shit one time. I drank crack. We drank base. Drank crack because, with the mix, you got to get the formula together and the whole thing. Them girls, they, them crackheads, man, they could be fucking chemists. They are incredible. They could figure that out. I couldn't cook. I couldn't get it together. I lost about an 8-ball of Coke one time. I drank it. I had a what do you call it? What's up, Ron? Coming from 165, no doubt. Good to see you in the house, baby. That's what's up. We tuning in. We got a great show for you tonight. But yeah, like I said, I drank that shit because I wasn't going to let it go to waste. I made a crack cocktail. Fuck it. No shame in my game. Yes, indeed. No doubt. And, tell Phyllis Yvonne Stickney, tell her I said, what's up? Yeah, that's my girl. I used to, let's Chucky Chuck rap on the check-in. And I used to work with Chucky back in the day the Cotton Club. We did our thing uptown, and I opened up for Phyllis Stickney, and she's a fabulous comedian as well as an actress, and she's gorgeous. She's beautiful, a young lady, black young lady. And I love you, Phyllis, and it's all good. But yeah, those days are behind me, but it's an experience. I experienced it, and I'm glad, like, because people are like, why you haven't made it yet, George? Da, 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 da. Well, I went through life. Things happen. And I experienced that. I was young, experimental, not easy impressionable, but just I went through that phase, and because if I had made it, I felt it would have been suicidal and detrimental to myself. A lot of my contemporaries have made it. Tracy Morgan. I used to have shows that I used to do. I used to work Monday. I was at Sweetwater's. Tuesday, I was upstate in Binghamton booking shows, a beautiful jazz spot called the Interlude Cafe we did. And Wednesday, I was in Long Island at a spot called Chuckles in Mineola. Thursday, I was at Club 88. I had budgets for each of these rooms. And Tracy Morgan used to work for me. First time I met Tracy was at Mineola and Chuckles. And our Uncle Jimmy Mack, God bless the dead, that was Tracy Moore, the brother that passed away, that died coming from a gig with Tracy. Uncle Jimmy Mack was the one who turned me on to Tracy. He actually did. I had never heard of Tracy at that time. And Tracy was working at the Uptown Comedy Club in Harlem. And Uncle Matt said, yo, G, I was trying to put the show together. It was what they had called, I worked for this promoter out in Port Washington, Long Island. And he was putting together, he called it a Def Jam show, a black show. Chuckles is a white room. They call it, not tonight, but I'll make the distinction of what they call white rooms and then black rooms. And when you're a black comic, a lot of black guys back in the day used to just work what they call the Chitlin circuit, the black rooms. But, of the material that I do, I had the luxury and the privilege, but you have to really work at it to cross over, if you will. So I did a gig at Chuckle, and they wanted to do the black show, the Def Jam show. So that's what we put together. I had Uncle Jimmy Mack. He got me Tracy Morgan, and then we had Face Man. And so that was our show for the night. And I'll tell the story, not now, because I do want to get to my guests. And I touched the surface, I elaborated, but yeah, I don't want to, like I said, go too far with it, go too deep, and then burn up too much minutes and burn up too much of my guest time. I wanted to talk about TV, about how these reality shows were so stupid with never mind keeping up the Kardashians and none of that crazy bullshit and K+8 and Optimum and all that. It's ridiculous. All of these so-called different stars and yeah. Oh, don't forget to face with Tasha Smith. Yeah, Tasha Smith, we used to have uptown in Sugar Hill. Tasha was on that, what did she do? Boston Country was Sinbad, the whole thing. But yeah, Chucky Chuck first brought her to light when we were doing our thing. Tasha, she was funny. Before she went out to Cali, she made it. She's on Empire, I think, and the whole thing. But Tasha's a big star. She's a major star now. Yeah, I tried to get with her. I tried to fuck Tasha. I ain't gonna front. I used to, like try to hit on the whole thing. She used to say, you crazy. We lived on the same, on Manhattan Avenue. Tasha was on 100 and I think was at 13th Street, 14th over there. And I was on 123, right across from a spot called Perks. And yeah, I tried to get with Tasha. It was all good. But yo, we're going to keep it moving right along. I said, I have a great show for you tonight. And these people here, incredible. And I have want to introduce to you Roz Nixon. She's the executive producer of events, and Patience Higgins. Patience, wow, it's this brother, this man has toured with the Duke Ellington and Count Basie orchestras. He's also worked with Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles. His resume is just it's mind-boggling. He's worked for Obama several times, and uh, incredible, incredible. So, and Roz told me she has some guests with her as well. And are we ready for them, or are they in the house? So let's, without further ado, let's bring out Roz Nixon. It's Roz, and then Patience Higgins. I'm gonna big them up. Are they in the room? Are they in the studio? Okay. If not, well, then we'll just keep doing what we were doing in a minute until they come into the studio. It's all good. Things happen. Uh, it's all good. As I was saying about the TV, the reality shows and such, and it's just all to me. It's all garbage, and we're in a whole new age now as far as like with the computers and everything, you know. And I used to watch what they called back in the day the golden age of TV. Beverly Hillbillies and stuff like even the Flying Nun. That show to me, I was never really crazy. I didn't like the Flying Nun. I watched it because I was hoping she flew into a building. It's a stupid show. And Tarzan was another stupid show. Tarzan was a disgrace to every black person in America at that time because he was Tarzan. He was the only white man in Africa. And he knew his way around Africa better than the Africans. And according to Tarzan, every tree in Africa had a vine in a treehouse, right? And he spoke 2 words, and it wasn't even real African, as diversified as the African language is. And these 2 words meant everything. You guys remember what the 2 words were? Ungawa. What the fuck was that? He said, boy, Ungawa. Boy would come running over to Tarzan. Cheetah, Ungawa. Cheetah would go up a tree and get a banana. And he'd be in the treehouse, at night just chilling. He's chilling out with Jane. And he looked over and say, Jane, Ungawa. She slapped the shit out of him. Better put some leaves around that Ungawa. Before we have another boy like that one we got running around the jungle. It's crazy. What's up, Yvette? Hello. Say hello to Chucky Chuck. It's good. I'm glad to see people that came and tuning in. This what's up and participating. And you know what? I watched these back in the day when we had these talk shows. Because now, who's the biggest thing on talk shows? I really don't even know. But back when I was coming up with Phil Donahue. Phil said it all. And I know Dr. Phil, he's real pompous and egotistical. I don't like Dr. Phil at all, and is he a real doctor? Is he a real doctor? We say, Chucky, we're running parties in March and April. We got parties, and that's what, no doubt. All right, yeah, the Springfield Park. That was it was a big. I'm thankful for that gig. It's all good. Partying and rocking in the park. It was what's up. But yeah, when I was saying about Phil Donahue, everybody painted their show, their style after him. He set off the gender of talk shows. And Sally Jessica Raphael, not only did she pattern herself after the style of Phil, she even looked like, so I don't know if you guys remember Sally, but she had the red frame glasses, but she looked like Phil, like a female Phil Donahue. And it's incredible because Oprah was around at the time, but Oprah was going back with her weight issues. She was big one week, and the next week she was fucking, She's walking around like a stick, like a big head in a micro. You lost all the weight. You can't lose. Imagine you can't lose weight in your head. You know what I'm saying? So if you're big, and she looked big. I liked her as a big woman. I like a big bodied woman. And she lost all that weight and was running around like a big head in a microphone. Scary. And I'll tell you, she stepped on the scale one time and the card came out and said, one at a time. And that, I was supposed to do my rim shot with that. One at a time. Okay. But no, that's how it was. And that, with Oprah, it was that. And then I came home one night. I did a late night set. And because Sally Jesse Raphael, she used to come on 2 o'clock on New York. If you guys don't know, I'm based out of New York City. I'm a New York City comedian, but I work the road. I travel all around. And before this pandemic, and I used to do a thing out of the Comedy Zone in Charlotte, North Carolina. And they had 80 rooms themselves. And as a comedian, you are subcontractor. You have to fill out the 1099, the whole thing. But you have to hustle. The thing is, but if you get a good agent, a good supplier who's got rooms, then you could eat with him or her, whoever. And then your purpose and your goal is to try to get as many agents as you can. You get your calendar, your book, and make sure everything is good that way. You need to be organized. And you can eat with about 5 or 6 good bookers. Like I said, I had Creative, that Charlotte Comedy Zone. That's where Steve Harvey and Cedric, those cats, they come through there. They filtered them on this, James, and all them cats. They worked there. Adele Givens, I used to work with Adele and Bruce. We in Norfolk, Virginia, right across from the Civic Center at the Howard Johnson's in downtown Norfolk. I did a lot of stuff with the cats you bumping on the road, going in and out. A lot of one-nighters with them in Tennessee, West Virginia, all throughout the Bahamas, Nassau. They sent me all over. And I'd come back, and then I'd work for these agents here. I had one agent that used to put me for opening acts. I opened with Sinbad, Dionne Warwick, Jerry Butler, all those cats at Club Benet in New Jersey. Rochelle Farrell, John Lucian, Gato Barberi, and so it was very interesting, to who you bump in to on the road, and who you build with, and who you see progress. I was in Mexico, Cancun, Mexico, with Jim Brewer. Jimmy now is at that time, he was going through a transition of managers. He was changing managers. And one of the manager was Tony Camacho. And Tony used to be hooked up with Rick Messina. And Rick was Tim Allen's manager. I don't know if he's still hooked up with him or not. But Tony and Rick used to be partners. And they used to have a little piece of, I think, Dangerfields. But yeah, I was with Jimmy in Mexico. And we bonded, we hooked up. And it's amazing, like when you work the road with a comedian, you guys will bond fast because he or she, they might be coming in for that night. I worked with Tracy Moore, not Tracy, I did with Tracy. I was telling you the story with Tracy, how I met Tracy. And then Tracy, I did a couple of rooms, a couple of gigs for me as I was booking those rooms. I was saying the Sweetwaters, the Interlude Cafe, Chuckles, Club 88, and then Friday and Saturday I'd be on the road. And yeah, I worked with Martin Lawrence. Martin, I was at a gig. I was doing a week from Tuesday through Sunday in Connecticut, New Haven, Connecticut, at Joker's Wild. And Martin came and he just did that TV show, What's Happening Now, with Shirley Hample. And so Martin, I think he had did the movie Kid, what was that? Houseplay, Houseplay, I think, too. And he was funny. He was working the comedy service before he got his show Martin, and before he really went on to a whole nother level where he blew up, as they say. And but he was a good cat. He was nice. He was all right. But he came in on Friday night. He had two shows Friday and then two shows Saturday. As I said, I had been there since Tuesday. And I was tight with the owner. I was cool. And Martin came in with his manager at that time, Chopper Carew. I think Chopper had about 13 guys, or he had a lot of comedians, black comedians that he was managing at that time. That movie, Dirty Dancing, Talking, Dancing, something, I forget the name of the movie, but it had all of the comedians that he was representing at that time in it. And he was good for a few of his clients, especially for Martin. Martin put him on the map and allowed him to eat, because Martin was very talented, very funny, and great presence. And as you see, he's a tremendous actor. It's like Eddie Murphy. Eddie, started, I think, when he was 15 or 16, like Chappelle, the same way. A lot of these young men that are doing it, that have long careers and that are good at talking dirty after dark. That's right. Thanks, Chucky. Yeah. And that's what Topper Carew was grooming those cats, and he was eating off of them because he was booking them on the tour. I worked with Charlie Barnett at the end of Charlie's career at the same club. And he still had some juice, but he was on his way out, and you could tell. Charlie just had that drug habit. He would have been Eddie before Eddie. He was Eddie, I should say, before Eddie. Matter of fact, that part in Saturday Night Live that Eddie got, it was supposed to really be Charlie Murphy. I'm sorry, Charlie Barnett. But Charlie couldn't read, and Charlie got a couple of shots on Miami Vice, and he was good. He was very good. He was just a natural, just funny man, very super talented, and but he had an addiction as well, which he couldn't get under wraps. He couldn't control it. I heard Charlie used to make about 500 working the park, working Washington Square Park. Now, working the park is not easy, and what did you say, Daddy? And they asked me if you were my real brother. Yes. Wow. Yeah, that's my sister, and that's my baby girl. Yes, I am her real brother, and that's my real sister. That's right. It's all good. That's all you got to know. That's all you need to know. But yeah, Charlie Barnett, as I said, working at Park. I went out there. I didn't go out to Washington Square, but I tried it. I went on the subways and stuff to see, just to experience that. And it's, people, they see everything. New Yorkers, we see everything. And so when you come on a subway and, people don't pay attention. They really don't care. Everybody's in their own world, doing their own thing. You can't blame them. You can't fault them because this is New York City. Anything can happen. Anything can jump off at any minute. And it's like that. So you have to be on point and be aware. Yeah, so Charlie, I give him mad props, mad salute to Charlie Barnett, rest in peace. And because what he did was not, as I said, was incredibly difficult. And I heard, like a set, he might do, I don't know, 15, 20-minute set. He might rake in anywhere between 500 to $1,000, just walking around, messing with people, doing material, just, however he felt. He had that command. And that's another thing, to get command of a crowd when you work in a park in New York City, baby, as people just walk about. But when they know you, they know. There was another a street performer, Albert Owens. He's almost not as good as Charlie, but he was in a class by himself. He was a different type of comedian. He's funny. And Charlie used to try to come into the clubs and work the rooms. So it's a completely different environment. It's like doing comedy over the computer, virtually. It's difficult. It's hard to do the virtual situation. I had recently a bad show, a virtual show, and it didn't go good at all. It was a fiasco. Why was it a fiasco? These people wanted me to do, asked me could I do squeaky clean material because I had done it for uh, some clients with Sinbad and Dionne Warwick. They requested that. Jerry Butler's people, they wanted squeaky clean. And Sinbad, I did 3 shows with Sinbad, and his brother and sister used to manage him. And that's the thing, that the first gig I did was 2,700 seats in New Haven. The second show was 2,500 seats in the Paramount Theater in Springfield, Mass. And the third show was 4,000 seats in Big Birch, upstate New York. It was like up on a ski resort. And I remember the next week, George Carlin was coming in. And that's always stuck in my head. But I was saying all this to say, on that virtual show, they wanted squeaky clean. But I gave them squeaky clean. But it's all relatively subjective. If you're doing a squeaky clean set in front of 2,700 people or 4,000 people, I have a little bit more leeway because I can get away with a lot more. I'm doing squeaky because I'm not cursing. I'm clean. I'm a clean comic, for the most part. But when you're doing virtual, they want, and now in this environment, everything is politically correct. You can't say this, you can't say that, you can't talk about this, and you can't talk about that. You're going to offend. So, a client, if they want virtually clean over the computer, and it's just not hitting well. I can say damn or hell, over 4,000 people, the mic, and it's so what? But I'm being monitored and I'm being targeted if I'm doing a virtual set and people are sitting in these squares like a Zoom type situation, and I can look at faces and I can see people, I'm not hitting them, they're not feeling it, and it's not going over well. So I really, I'm a traditional old school stand-up. I love an audience. I need that instant, spontaneous laughter. I need this. I need that. I need that. And most performers, that's what they want. They're looking for it. They're striving for it. We feed off of that. Our egos a lot of times kind of demand that. And that's what it is now in this day and age. With the advent of so many different, the TikTok, the people make a minute and a half videos, and it's just something that, they got who knows how many followers, crazy amount of followers. They get crazy amount of hits and views, and it's all good. And it kind of like, it took a lot of work out of my mouth, a lot of other traditional comics mouth, closed clubs. When they turned the lights on Broadway, that was a sign and indication for me that things are bad. When they shut Manhattan down, they shut Vegas down, Hollywood, California, California Boulevard, Sunset Boulevard. It's a wrap. It was over as far as entertainment, and a lot of people are making their own specials and doing their own thing from behind the computer. You can eat from the computer now. It's amazing. Before we had to go on the road and eat, but, is it good? In one aspect, yes. But then again, the creative and the side of really developing your craft, a lot of these young cats don't develop their craft because they don't have to. And that's the sad part about it. They're not really putting the kind of work in that they should to get legs, what we call legs, to develop some type of longevity. They make a lot of money. Like this young kid recently is like 21 years old. I forget how many followers he had, and he was a millionaire, I guess, by the time he was like 20 years old or something like that. But some of the quality of his stuff just was like, wasn't a fan of it. And I'm not a fan of a lot of that stuff that goes on with the TikTok and the YouTubers but again, they're getting over, they're doing their thing, they're eating, and can I hate on them? Nah, but that's just the way it goes down. That's just the nature of the game. So we have to do what we have to do to survive and to keep it going. And I don't know what happened to my guest. This is Roz now. Roz, what happened?
Hey, I'm there. I'm in the waiting room.
Yeah, because I had sent you another link. My partner had sent me another link. I sent it to you um, on the inbox. I'm on the air now, and but that link, I guess that's the link to the show. The one that on with the email, that's the one I initially was in the room with, and he had told me that one didn't work. But try the one I send you, and then come on in. We're waiting for you, baby. I got you on the air now. I got you on speaker, so we're waiting for you and patience. I hope he is patient. I hope his name is.
Yeah, well, let me resend.
Yeah, please send it to him. Hit him up and let him know. We still got time to get your stuff in.
Okay, I'll resend the link.
All right, Ross. Sorry for the mix-up.
No problem.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, you heard it there. That's Roz Nixon. She's what it is. We had another link. It's the same link, but it just didn't allow because the initial link that I had, I came into the room and then my partner was on the engineering board tonight, the mixing board, he didn't see me either. And so I resent her the link that I got sent. So you heard it. So hopefully she'll be here in a minute. And then because the guest that she has and what she's going to do this weekend, is for Grover Washington Jr.'s birthday. And she wants to let everybody know where they can go and what they need to do to get tickets and to support this brother, and we had Roy Ayers Jr.'s musical director. I don't know if he's still with her and with Patience. As I said, Patience Higgins is a jazz expert. He plays the oboe, he plays the flute, the saxophonist. He's a reed, and I used to play the reed. I would read several. I didn't play the instrument. I just played the reed. I don't know if anybody knows how difficult that is. Yeah, I used to go about 3 reeds a day, chewing them. Yeah, I got to work that out on the road. That just fell flat. I got to get that shit together. It's my second show. I'm banging it out though, baby. But yeah, we're waiting for Roz, and it's we're coming up on the hour. But yeah, these stories here are interesting, man, because it's a lot of time. Like these young cats don't put work in, as I was saying before. And I coach. I'm a football coach as well, and I noticed that with the young men that come out on the field. I played football, like I gave up front. To shout out to the Tomahawk organization. I started with them, as I said, when I was 10. I put my work in. By the time I got to Bayside, I went to Bayside High School, and I was already, I knew the game. But these young men, they come to us in high school. My friend, he's a head coach, head high school coach at Jamaica High School. Shout out to Jamaica, big him up, Coach Whitfield. And yeah, we don't get guys that have played Sandlot football or Pop Warner football. We get young men that have, are playing in their junior, senior year that never really, this generation that doesn't go outside. what the fuck are they afraid of? You know, going outside. So Lamar, what happened?
Yeah, I sent them both the new one anyway, so I don't know if they didn't answer me. I just shouted to them.
Yeah, well, I sent it to her.
I sent you earlier directly.
So. Yeah, but I sent that to her. And she got it. She said she sent it to patients. So, you know, that's the thing, you know, so.
We'll run over a half hour, no worries.
All right, cool.
All right.
Yeah, all right, bye. Yeah, so you guys are hearing it. It's live, and we kicking it live. We're not holding nothing back. Just letting you know what's going on, and thanks for hanging in with me. And you see, it's sometimes like when you're on stage, they tell you, they give you the stretch sign. Right? I've been stretching like a month, like a rubber band. Yo, but it's all good. You know, I had a couple of drinks before, and I'm good. That's the remedy, I guess, huh? Yeah, but no more crack, no more cocaine. I'm done with that. I like ecstasy. I'm not gonna lie, but I haven't had it in a long time. I can't front. I like that drug. Hey, it is what it is, and I'm not advocating that. If you got young guys or watching young people out there, to just say no. Okay, just say no. Don't fuck with that. But yeah, I don't know. Some girls say, you know, George, that ecstasy, that shit is for you. You a freak. That you should start. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know why I listened to him, but I did. I took a pill. You know, it was like 20. Those shits are $20 a pop. You know, you get the good ones. But yeah, like I said, I stopped. I haven't messed with it in a long time. And ecstasy, I'm talking about cocaine. It's been a lot of years. I left that alone, just cold turkey. It's like, you know, what was more difficult for me, to be honest with you, was stop smoking cigarettes. That nicotine is just so more addicting than crack, than cocaine. And for me, you know, it took me a minute to really kick that cigarette habit, you know, and then going around, you know, doing the football thing, doing the coaching, and then here I am, have to hide from these young men this, you know, smoke a cigarette, because how am I telling them about good health? And, you know, my grandma used to always say, practice what you preach. And I wasn't doing that. I felt guilty about that. I felt more guilty about that. You know, them seeing me, Coach G, smoking a cigarette. And I was a ball player, an athlete, 100%. All city, out of Bayside, coming out of Bayside. Yeah. There's no one around. I've never seen you so nervous before. No, it's not nervous. It's just I'm kicking it. I'm telling it like, you know, like it maybe seems nervous or whatever. But the thing is that when you're trying to explain something and break it down, that there's a certain way that you have to do it. And that's basically what's going on. And yeah, so with the kids, I cold turkey. And thank you, brother. No doubt. And yeah, so I had to cold turkey it, and it took it to another level with me as far as like having an understanding of what's going on, you know, with these young men, and like I said, trying to set an example for them. And here I am smoking, and yeah, so I stopped. I cold turkeyed. I left it alone. Walked in the same thing what I did with the drugs, just cold turkey and left it alone. And it's a hell of a thing. But yeah, let's see where we at. I was talking about the Italians, the whole thing, you know. I was talking about how now with this COVID 19, this thing that we got now, and it's taking the intimacy out of romance. It really has put a whole different twist to the, you know, trying to talk to a girl, pushing up on a shorty, just it's how do you make a move on it? Because never mind safe sex, it's just trying to, that barrier. You're scared for yourself about, if this person, never mind burning you, back in the day, you want to, wrap it up, you get burned. When you got that burn and you knew you were burned, you knew you had VD or whatever the hell it was, and going to the clinic, you had to get that shit checked out. But now, we're wearing masks. So you don't want to even like risk that. You don't want to take that chance to let, that mask down and, try to get a piece of ass. Yeah. Oh, you told Trevor? I do a bit about, he's showing about Trevor the locksmith uptown, Chucky Chuck rap. So you hit Trevor with that? Yeah, Trevor. I used to fuck with Trevor back in the day. Yeah, I used to get high. I used to get so high. I sniffed so much cocaine, 4 o'clock in the morning. I used to get so paranoid, I get skied up and just, I called the locksmith, called Trevor. Trevor Locksmith. I was on 123rd Manhattan Avenue. Trevor was on 135th and 7th. I called Trevor, come and put another lock on the door. And he'd get there and I wouldn't let him in. That's how paranoid I was. And Chucky Chuck said he told the Trevor about that. But yeah, shit, fuck that. Nobody was in there at that point. I used to have people in the house, and as soon as they leave, I get high, and they try to come back 10 minutes later. That's it. Yo, you left, bye. That's it. You are not getting in. I know you, but I don't know you. I don't know what your intentions are. Yeah, you're my brother, but you left. I don't know what's up. Fuck that. Good friends. It was not getting back in. But that drug, that's what it'll do to you. You get so, you have a different, talking about the paranoia and the whole thing. You start, overthinking, outthinking yourself, overanalyzing yourself, and it gets to that level. But yeah, so it's talking about the coaching. We trying to develop the kids and trying to. What about the kid wearing the shoes on the wrong feet? Yeah, you can't make this shit up. That's Coach Whitfield. He wants me to tell that story about a young man who actually, what it is, he played a whole half. And Coach Whitfield was saying, he came to me, he said, yo, man, he said, you ain't going to believe this. So what happened? He said, I mean, here, he got his shoes on the wrong feet. He played a whole half. He said, yo, coach, my feet are hurting. He said, my feet are hurting, man. Coach, I don't know what's going on. And Coach Whitfield looked down and he said, yo, Bernard, your fucking shoes are on the wrong fucking, what the fuck is wrong with you? What grade are you in? The kid, and he's about 6'2", or at least 320. He's got his shoes, his cleats on the wrong. He's in high school. I learned to tie my shoes, I think, in kindergarten. I'm not sure. But I knew what the left foot, and I knew that. That was kindergarten. He's in high school, a senior in high school. He played a whole half with his fucking shoes on the wrong feet. I couldn't believe I was crying. I'm on the bench, and I'm crying because it was like, nah, this can't be real. But the young guy, he's big. He was big. I don't want to say doofus. I don't want to call him a doofus. That's not, right to say a doofus. But he's a doofus. He's a fucking dummy. Jethro Bodine from the Beverly Hillbillies laughs at this kid. I don't know if he's watching. If he's watching, yo, you know what I'm talking about. you had your shoes on the wrong feet, a whole half, not for a few. You had his, can't make this stuff up. Thanks, Coach, for pointing that out. Yeah, I've seen it before, but I was in the middle of telling whatever I was saying. I don't know. Because basically right now, we talk about stretch, motherfucking stretching. I'm digging, baby. But it's all good. I got plenty of stuff. Yours, yours. Got locksmith, mechanic. Oh, yeah, mechanic. But you know what? You still got that tape. I told that story about the mechanic, because you know what it is? It's like I went to a mechanic years ago, and I don't know, you could, it's like if you go, for me, if I'm going to get something to eat, I want a cook who's big. If I see the diner, I see a skinny guy and he's cooking, I'm not fucking with it because, he don't even like his own food or she don't like her own food. If a dude that's got he's got some, and we had a cook over at the Cotton Club, Sir James. I think that's, you told me, Chuck, that's Roz's nephew. Yo, he can burn. He can throw down. We used to have the brunches on Sunday. I forget what he paid, $20, $25 before them Japanese started coming in that tour when Mr. Beatty opened the floodgates with that. I think it was $20, $25. I forget what it was, but James was Sir James. That's why they call him Sir James. It's no joke. But yeah, if a mechanic, it's got, grease and oil on him, on his face and shit, he's twisted, I'm going to him because I know this one. He knows his shit. You know what I'm saying? But I went and the mechanic, and he was talking about the matriculator. I don't even know what this motherfucker was talking about, honestly. But I know it cost me at least goddamn near $1,000 for some bullshit that I knew that, if I knew anything about, automobile repair, it would have been resolved very, inexpensively, very cheaply. But yeah, he got me. He G'd me up for that money. For you people don't know what G'd up means, that means he conned me. With Donald Trump me. And yeah, you got to give me that tape, man, because I got to remember exactly what that was funny. But that was off the cuff that night. Yeah, we used to have a lot of fun at the Cotton Club Wednesdays. We had so many different people, like Phyllis Yvonne Stickney. She used to draw that, different people. Jim Brown came to the door one night, and I played ball. I was all city out of Bayside. I did my thing. Even at the Tomahawks, the East Queens Hawks, from 10 years old, used to be in a Long Island Press newspaper, and many accolades. Me and Stevie Hamilton. We won like out of 5 years after that, we won 4 championships. No, I think 4 championships in a row before I went to Bayside. And Bayside, we were undefeated that first year. I won the Larry Barrett Award, MVP, the whole thing. Next year was junior year. MVP of the league, all city, and MVP. Point I was making was that I started young. These young men, like I say, come to us and they don't even know how to put their fucking shoes on. That's what we got at Jamaica, and I mean, we have some decent size and decent talent. We just got to get some real athletes, cats, men that want to play the ball, that are hungry. And what's missing today, too, is the pride. We had pride. I had pride when I played, and I know Coach Whitfield, he had pride when he played. The cat was an all conference, and he was in the Hall of Fame out of New Rochelle. He was in the Hall of Fame out of the University of Rhode Island. He put work in. He's a ball player, and much respect and much salute to him. And the thing is, it's just that he tries to instill that to guys that don't even understand what the game is really about. And that's unfortunate. If we get some athletes, we'll run the table and we'll get a chip, That's what. What's up, Cub?
No.
What's good, baby? I'm on the air. I'm on live. I'm on the. Yeah, yeah. You coming on air, so no, don't talk about no scallywags, no hoes. Oh, somebody gonna recognize your voice? Is that what it is? All right, dude. All right. That's Sean Covington. That's he was known back in the day. He went to Bayside as well. Him and Kai Davidson, they called them the dynamic duo, and won championship, I think, 77. And he went to URI as well, University of Rhode Island, and did his thing. And Kai went on to, he played with the Jets. And, we had a lot of cats that played pro ball, Bobby Hammond, the Harmon brothers, Derek and Ronnie and his other brother, I can't call his name. But I think we had about 7 athletes that came out of Bayside that went to play pro. And Sean got hurt. He was injury prone. And I think that's basically, thank you, brother. It's a dope show. I appreciate that, no doubt. Thanks for hanging in there with me, man. That's what's up. But Cub got hurt. And his brother Jamie played with Minnesota. I think got a signing bonus. I don't know if he made any real noise at Minnesota, but he did go. He was out of Syracuse. He wore the number 44, like with Jim Kelly and a lot of the cats, great backs that came. Ernie Davis, the Elmira Express. So he's in great company, Jamie, Sean's brother. And I love Jamie, and but I think I always told Sean, I always thought he was better. And as an athlete, that's just something that you take pride in. It's something, you give props, and you want to feel when you walk out on that field that you are the best, that there's nobody that can touch you, whatever. But what I was saying about Whitfield, Coach Whitfield's Calvin Whitfield is his name, of how he's in the Hall of Fame in both high school and college as well. And that's pride. You have to, and it's an accomplishment. You wear that with a badge of honor. And so when he tries to pass that down to his kids, and you got a young man that got his shoes on the wrong fucking feet, and it's like, what the fuck? How do you coach that? How do you, get around that? How do you, what I'm saying, negotiate that? Like, this dude don't understand. You don't know his left foot from his right foot, literally. And that shit is scary. Scary. He's in high school, a senior in high school. Huh? And it took him a whole half to know that he's got his shoes on the wrong foot. And I don't know. But hopefully, like I say, we get a squad. We get some athletes that's walking through the door, and we can make some noise. And that's the deal. But I had pride, and Sean came, Covington. And I was telling him, I said, I always thought you were better than Jamie. I said, I love Jamie. Jamie, if you're watching, I love you, man. But I'm real. I'm true to the game. You know that. And but Sean is just more of a natural back. He had moves. He had everything. He just got hurt. Called him the bionic back because of the injuries and stuff. He accused me. We were doing a drill. I forget, what was the suicide? I forget the name of the drill. But you had I was a blocker back. We had a guard up front, and the running back would run behind us and try to like read and react, make a decision what hole he was going to take. I told him last night, I said, yo, man, you went the wrong way. He got banged up and his shoulder went out of socket, and that was one of the drills. His shoulder was always popping out. His knee was popping out. He had so many surgeries on his knee, but he still was a good back. He still got the job done. But he accused me, blamed me, for making the wrong block. I didn't make the wrong block. You made the wrong run. You were supposed to go on the outside of the block that I blocked in. And that's how that goes. So that was on you, B. I still love you. We still tight friends. That was, I don't know how many years ago, 30, 40 years ago, or whatever. But don't put the blame on me. Mm-mm. Like Coach Whitfield, like Cal, he uh, had an incident, a situation, and an in-law of his, was always telling me, he says, yo, stay far away from blame. I said, yeah. I said, that's kind of easy to say in theory. People will tell you that, but then when people are looking for a goat, looking for an out, a lot of times, if you're in the way, they're going to put it on you, and that's what happens sometimes. And it's amazing. But working the road, I want to tell you a little bit about that. I'm looking at the clock because I still don't know where, Roz, we've already guys heard it. So I have to bring them on at another show. If they don't come in the room soon, I don't know what's going on. It's just a mix-up. We just have to get squared away, and because what we got next week, I'm not going to bump him, to bring Roz back. We just have to, but Roz was promoting a date with Grover Washington Jr. on the 10th of this month. I forget the club. I don't have that in front of me. That's why Roz and Patience was supposed to be here to sell their tickets, promote their venue. And then Roz would tell you basically what's going on. I always equated her to be like a socialite from Manhattan because she's in the club scene. She's in the know. She does a lot of work, when I met her at the Cotton Club, as a matter of fact, years ago, and she was doing her thing then. She was producing plays and directing plays, and she might have even been acting in plays. And so with this venue that she's doing for Grover, for his birthday, I think his birthday's on the 10th, she's also something jumping off on the 12th with Patience. And Patience is, as I said, he's an accomplished professional musician with Count Basie, Duke Ellington, Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, Dee Dee Bridgewater. It's just, like I said, the brother plays the oboe, the saxophonist. I was going to try to impress him, and I opened up for Gato Barbieri. It was a Brazilian saxophonist. Might have been one of the best gigs that I played in because it was, the agent told me, he said, George, you're going to love this gig because he's spiritual. Gato, he spoke very little English. He said, man, I like you, you got laugh. You got laugh. I sound like an Indian. But he was Spanish. Man, ooh, he liked it. So I dug that. And, but yeah, the best gig I had was the Sinbad gig, 4,000 seats, because it was a phenomenal when you're getting laughs that's coming from the road. It's just like, whoa, it's organic. It really is. It's something you feed off of, and it's better than any drug that I ever had. Even better than that ecstasy. It's close. No, but it's better than any drug. It really is, as I say, orgasmic. You get that rush, you come down off the stage and you're still flying high. And Sinbad's brother and sister, they were his managers at that time. And I had worked 2 dates with him previously, as I said, in New Haven, Connecticut, and then in Springfield, Massachusetts, 2,700 seats, 2,500 seats. And now they called me to do this 4,000 arena situation. And when I looked up on the building, George Carlin was coming in the next week. And I was like, well, I made it. I'm in the fucking big time. And that's what the agent was like. He made me, he's Italian, in Sicilian. And he says, you have to swear on your mother's eyes. George, son, you can't curse. You can't swear nothing. You swear on your mother's. And I said, Gary, come on, man. What's that? fuck you talking? It's George. So, Ma, I swore, I swore on Mommy's eyes. I did. I got the gig. And no, I didn't, I was squeaky clean. I did my thing. And they, the craziest thing that happened on the road, man, I'll share that with you in a little bit. This shit was wild. Wow. But yeah, that was the best gig. And the worst gig, working with Dionne Warwick. It was the worst gig because I had never worked in front of a spotlight before. And it was in SUNY in Binghamton at SUNY University, a college upstate. And 1,800 seats, but 1,600 were inside. I made that distinction because there was an atrium, and the atrium may close it or whatever, but that was open. And we had 300 people on the grass. Only problem with that particular day, it rained. So the 300 on the grass, they were miserable. It was fucking miserable. And I had to do it squeaky clean in front of 1,800 people, 300 of them, it was pissed that they were there. Obviously, it was raining, and they were in the grass. Hey, listen, it's on you. You bought the tickets. Who should have checked the weather report? Basically, and I looked out. I see all these white faces. It's all good because I played the Jewish audience. I played for all the Latinos. I used to do what they call in the Jewish circuit the Glatt Yacht. Yeah, Glatt, we go around the Hudson 4 hours, and I'm performing in front of rabbis. I'm performing in front of an Orthodox, a religious crowd. I used to do the Yiddish voice, the Jackie Mason, that low, nothing personal. I do that. I used to come out sometimes and open up. Havaya, hello even. And then I do shtick. I come out and say, listen, if you like what I said, I know what you're looking at. You're saying, what's a Schatzer doing, talking like a Hasidim? I said, you know what it's like, looking how I look and talking how I talk. When I go uptown and they say to me, what it be like, man? I said, I don't know. What should it be like? I said, I want to make foreclosures for crying out loud, but how do you spell foreclosure? I said, I want to make deposits. I said, but I have no money, stuff like that. So I do the shtick. I did that. So it got me over, and I tell about how I live in Harlem, and I do that voice. I do the Yiddish voice. And then my neighbors, they think the landlord was in the building collecting rent. And they leave their apartments, and I go in and rob them. So I used to say how that bit always worked for me. And when I met Jackie Mason at Dangerfields one night. And I'll tell you a story. I used to go on stage wearing a hat. I used to wear a fisherman's hat. And it was crazy because I used to dress and suit it down. I'd be sharp. But I had this crazy hat on because I felt comfortable with it. I don't know what it was. I just felt comfortable with that hat. I used to go uptown, the Small's Paradise. We used to work. That's where I got stronger. The old Small, the one Wilt Chamberlain owned on 145th uptown. Smalls, legendary Smalls, a legendary Cotton Club, and the Baby Grand. Harlem, without miss Harlem, man. It was just unbelievable. And to do comedy there, feel it, the whole nine. But yeah, so being uptown and that club, I don't want to lose the trend, but I was talking about the Glatt Yacht being around, going with the Orthodox, all the Jewish audience on the boat, everybody on there, everybody, so I took liberty with this guy, this promoter, when I came off the stage after Dionne Warwick, because I was bombing badly. I was doing bad, because the miserable people, the 300 in the back, they weren't really, nothing. I was getting nothing. I got this giant spotlight. I had never worked in front of a spot, and the spot is hitting me. If anybody ever performed in front of a spotlight, you know what I'm talking about. You can't see the audience. You can't see through that spot, and I'm trying to duck and trying to get around it as a comedian because you want that, you need that response. You need that instantaneous, you got to get it. You got to see the faces. You might get 1 or 2 or 3 people that are feeling you, that are giving you something, so you got to go with that. And so I couldn't get it. I couldn't see. And I'm doing this Yiddish bit. I'm doing because I misread the audience. I had just played the Gladjat. I seen all these white faces. And Dionne worked for Dionne Warwick. So she only had like 3 or 4 black couples in the audience, if that. And she was fantastic. We stayed at the same hotel, and they were telling me that she's sick. You can't meet her or anything. Listen, I was, going there. I had my, my little stash. I'm just going to go up my room and chill, get ready for showtime, take a shower and kick back and relax. Sometimes, I show up, I get to a gig early and just, stretch out and do my thing. But, they said, Miss Warwick is sick. You can't, don't bother her. I didn't even know where she was at. I didn't mean bother her. I'm bother her for. What do I look like? Knock on the door, Miss Warwick. Let's go to the bar. What the fuck is going to mean bother her? These people are, stupid a lot of times. And the agents, they tell you, when I was working with Soupy Sales, they hooked me up. I was working with them in Oyster Bay on the south side over there. And a beautiful spot, beautiful on the water. The restaurant was just elegant, really incredible. But the agent says, listen, Soupy is an egomaniac. Stay out of his way. He's a bitter man. Don't go near him. Do not bother Soupy's Mr. Sales. You call him, I said, they've given me all this, what to say, what not to say, all. And you know what? So I saw him. I remember Soupy from his show. I was a fan of his always. I mean, Soupy Sales, he's been in the business since the 50s. He's made it. He did his thing. And here I'm working. I didn't even know he did comedy at that time. I didn't know he was a stand-up comedian. And when I met him, I shook his hand, told him, he says, I know what they told you about me. He said, they told you to stay out of my way, to stay. Don't say nothing to me. He said, you know what it is? Because I give to hell. I'm Soupy fucking Sales. And these son of a bitches, certain things they don't want to do for me. You know what I'm making tonight? You know how much money I'm getting tonight? Huh? I had 4 shows here. We got 2 tonight and 2 tomorrow night. I'm getting 5 G's, for these cocksuckers. Okay? They didn't even want to send a fucking car for me. He's no good. So he started, I understood where his business was coming from. It wasn't about me. He said, look, he was just a sweetie. He gave me so many tips and pointers of what to do and not to do, that kind of thing. So he was a sweetheart. He was bitter, not bitter. He was just demanding certain things that he wanted and that he knew that he had earned. Listen, this guy, come on, man, Soupy Sales. He put work in. So, and it was like that. Frank Gorshin. I worked with Frank at the same place as well. And we became friends, actually. He took to me. Frank liked me. And the same thing they told me about Frank. Stay out of his way. Listen, did you see the rest of the rip? I know who this man is. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the impressions because I do some voices. So, hey, I used to do, he did the, when he do the shootout with Kirk Douglas and Burt Reynolds, and he was the expression. He looked just like them. And then I remembered him from the Dean Martin Celebrity Roast. And I always see him on there, and he's with powerhouses. Bob Hope, Carol Burnett, Lucille Boy, with everybody. Orson Welles, Flip Wilson, he's on the dais. Frank Gorshin. And I'm in awe. I said, oh, shit. I told him, I said, yo, Mr. Gorshin, he's at the bar. He said, kid, come in, man. He shook my hand. He said, you want a drink? I said, I'll drink. He said, I'm drinking that on a Zeta. I never had that. I said, I'll try it, whatever. So he's telling me the same thing about, I know what they told you, stay away from me or whatever. And I got a suit on. I'm sharp. I thought I was sharp. He said, what are you wearing on stage, kid? I said, this is it. He said, you going on like that? So I'm all fucked up now. I'm like, yo, Frank doesn't approve of this. What do you mean I'm going on like that? It made me feel like I got on a pair of jeans. But yeah, I'm going on like this, you know. He said, well, I say that. He goes, listen. He goes, you know, I'm a Vegas act. I do Vegas, Atlantic City. He goes, look, what I'm doing now, I'm suing the hotel I was at. I think he was at the Stardust, one of those casinos in Vegas for $800,000. Is what it is. In my contract, if somebody yells out, you know, audience members or whatever, I don't deal with heckles or anything like that. I don't say nothing. Somebody comes up to them and warns them. Second time anybody yells something out, I walk. It's in my contract. So I got a guy heckler, he yelled shit out, and came over the second time, he yelled out. So he walked. And so what the hotels do, what they normally do, he said what they do, they sue me. So because they say I breached. So, you know, it's like, you know, a tactic that they go back and forth. He said, that's why I'm here. So he tried to explain to me why he was there working that kind of gig. You know, he's getting 5 G's a night, but that's still beneath him at you know, the level he was on. I mean, Gorsh had done it all. You know, so he was suing him for 800 G's or whatever. And we had 2 shows that night, it was Friday night, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. And I'm up the first show. I'm doing my thing. Mind you, I got a half hour. You know, Squeaky clean. He worked clean too because I was his manager at that time. Was Adam Colagrossi, and I'm on stage, and I'm doing my thing. I'm clean for the most part, but I decided to close it out with a joke, a regular joke, stock joke, not original material. And a guy in the audience knew the punchline to the joke. Instead of letting me do it, he yelled out the punch. And it incites Frank. I don't know what made him. He got pissed. Now, mind you, they come to see Frank Gorshin. They don't come to see me. You know, I'm the opening act. Who am I? So, but Frank got up on stage after I got off. And he told the guy, you know what? You're a real fucking asshole. You're a fucking jerk. What the fuck is wrong with you? You allowed the man's punchline. Why did you do that? I mean, he just tore him a new asshole. And his manager, Adam Collins, he says, wow, Frank likes you. He said, Frank, the years I'm with Frank, 30 years. He never said a 4-letter word on stage to anybody. Never. Frank barely curses off stage. He says, man, for him to come to your defense and, you know, take up, he likes you, man. You know, and, you know, proof of fact, he came to, I was working Joker's Wild, the one in Connecticut, New Haven. He came to my show. He came to see me. And like I said, he tried to befriend me. He did befriend me, but at the time I was, you know, doing the drugs and getting high. And I didn't understand what he was trying to do for me. You know, as far as like to lift me up and take me to the next level career-wise. You know, but I was out there and, you know, I didn't. He called the house. You know, my girlfriend at the time, she answered the phone. I told Frank I'll call him back. I was fucked up. I was fucked up in the game. And that's one of the things that I regret. Tell Frank I'll call him back. Frank called the house to see how I'm doing to check on me. Yeah. And, you know, so that, you know, relationship didn't go anywhere. But it could have, as far as like, you know, if I was in the right frame of mind, right state of mind, you know what I'm saying? But you live and you learn, my grandmother used to always say, his experience. But yeah, Frank came to see me up in New Haven, and I was shocked when he walked through the door. The owner, you know, Italian guy, young guy, and he was a wise guy, and his father was somebody. And Johnny was a good guy. He always treated me great. And he came through the door, and Johnny almost lost his mind. He said, Georgie, please introduce me to Frank. You know, can I get Frank here? Like, I'm speaking for Frank. I said, listen, you talk to Frank. I'll introduce you. You know, so there was a, you know, he met Frank Gorshin. He was a big fan as well. And just the fact that Gorshin walked through the room, through the doors, and the audience, when they saw Frank came and hugged me, kissed me, the whole nine, and da-da-da, but, it was like that. And like I said, Jerry Butler, the same thing. We're doing Club Renee. And, these people come to see, the stars. Dionne Warwick, Jerry Butler, they come for them. And I'm on stage, I'm doing this Jehovah Witness bit. And this guy again took offense to that. He didn't like it. He turned his seat over. He turned his back to me while I'm performing. Man, he said something, yelled something out. He didn't like it. And then, yeah, you sucked. I don't know if I sucked or but it was something. It wasn't nice. And his little section there, they were right up front. It was like, I think 750 seats. It was in Perth Amboy, New Jersey, Club Benet. And Mr. Butler, he came out right behind me. And, because when that guy did that, it threw me. And nothing had never happened like that before. And I was doing okay. I was getting laughs. I wasn't knocking them out. I wasn't killing them. But I was doing okay. I was doing enough to, get through the set, even with that interruption there. And so Mr. Butler went up on stage, and he just told this guy, no asshole as well. He said, what were you thinking? That was real disrespectful. This guy's working. He honed his craft and the whole thing, and here you treat him with that type of disrespect. I know you come to see me. I understand that. But you have an artist, too, that you should. He broke it down to him along those lines. I appreciated that. And I thanked him for it. And he had his niece working with him that particular night. She was a singer. She was good. She was terrific. He was saying that, so I'm going to pass the torch to her, that kind of thing. But, yeah, so, you see all kind of stuff. You deal with all kind of stuff. And I made the reference earlier about working the Jewish circuit and the Latino circuit and working different audiences and different venues is because when I came off the stage with Dionne Warwick, after having a really, really tough set, like I said, I misjudged the audience. When I was doing the Yiddish bit, and they're rednecks up there. They're crackers, man. They don't like, Jewish people either. So I'm doing it, and they took offense to that. Why I say that, why I knew that. And when I came off stage, these two, this older white promoter and this younger one. The younger guy was kind of nice to me. He was phony, but he was trying to at least, hey, man, hey, good, good set. And they wanted me to do 30 minutes. Clean, kept saying clean, squeaky clean now. You're going to be squeaky clean. Clean, keep it clean. I said, man, I got it. I know what I got to do. I'm a professional. I hear you. You don't got to run that to me. I'm all right, and clean, right? I said, yo, these dudes, man. So I do my thing, and I come off, and I look at my watch, and I know where I'm at. It's 30 minutes on the head, and they're shaking their head. They got a stopwatch. They can't believe it that I hit it on the head, that I know where, 30 minutes is. And dude says, the young guy, like I said, hey, that, and the older, he said, listen, let's get to the chase. You know what? You're up there, you're talking about the Jewish community and then the Latin, the Puerto Ricans. I didn't say nothing about no Puerto Ricans. I did a joke, about the Dominicans, not even so much Dominicans. I used to say, like, it's kind of fucked up. I said, how many Spanish people in the audience? I said, nobody said, well, fuck them, then we could talk about it. Boom, stock line. But it works, for the most part. So bam, I said, all right. I said, what's up with the Dominicans? And the clothes, the colors, when they dress up to go out. I said, what were they, born colorblind? Where's my thing at? What were they, born colorblind? What do they do, get dressed in the dark? Do the words color coordinated mean anything to these people, right? I said, well, damn. I said, how do they get dressed? I said, what do they do when they get dressed? Like, damn. Okay, I think I take this Jello top and these purple plaid pants and these green shoes. I'm ready. I said, for what, Chico? The circus? Where the fuck are you going? But that's the bit, and I do that everywhere. I work that in front of all audience, white, black, for everybody. You know, I don't pick sides. I don't do the stereotypical in front of all white audiences. I do black stuff to sell out, you know, the black people, my people, for myself. No, I don't do that. I work everything the same. If I'm doing that joke in front of a black audience or black audience or all white audience, I'm doing it in front of all white audience. You feel me? So it's like that. So I did that joke there. Bam. I did the Yiddish bit. You know, that's shots doing talking. You know, I do that. Da 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 da. I come down. He's telling me you talking about the Jews. You're very offensive to the Jews and the Puerto Ricans. I said, hold up. You know what? I said, you're a cracker, first of all. I said, you're a redneck. You're a redneck and you talking shit. You don't know what you're talking about. But you know what? I was blunt. And you have to kind of be like that. You got to nip that shit in the bud when they're coming at you sideways. And that's what I did. I let them know, like, yo, I just opened up a Gato Barbieri. Do you know who that is? Who? He didn't have a fucking clue, you know? And I said, I just did Supergato. I do the Glad yacht. You know what Glad is? Huh? I said, for Orthodox Jews going around Manhattan, 4 hours. You understand? You know Gilligan's Island? They got lost on a 4-hour fucking cruise. All right? That's what happened. So I said, check this out. Give me my money. Give me my fucking money. You know, what are you talking about? You know, I said, how much time did I do? Oh, you did 30 minutes. I said, yeah. You know, and then I'm looking at Dionne Warwick's people because they were real cold to me. I don't know what that was about. Now, Dionne, she was sweet to me, but her people, the musicians and shit, they're looking at me like I'm nobody. You know, and I just told us because I'm telling this guy off, you know, like, yo, I just got through with Sinbad. I did for Gato Barbieri. I do the Glad Yacht. I work. I stay busy, you know, and so you're not going to treat me like nothing, like a fucking like schmuck off the street. No, you know, so I'm not letting them get away with it. And I called them out. You know, I told them go redneck and the whole nine. And after that, then now the people, they, you know, they got the food in the basement downstairs and they offer me something to eat and the whole nine. Do I want to eat? And the whole thing, the promoted young was, you know, yo, you don't ask me that I need a ride here. You know, so you mean ride home? I drove myself, but thank you. But just give me my money. And that's it. You know, so it's like that. But when the brother was asking before, what was the craziest thing on the road? Craziest thing was working up in Syracuse. I had opened up at Syracuse University for Leaders of the New School years ago. Busta Rhymes used to be with him, Charlie Brown and Dinko D. But that's a separate gig. That was separate to, you know, I was getting good money for that particular gig. This night, I was with my man, Ronnie Wilkerson. I reached out to Ronnie. I don't know what's up with Ronnie. I haven't heard anything from Ronnie. I hope he's okay. I've been calling and calling. I heard some stuff. I don't know. I can't confirm it. You know, he passed away or anything. I don't know. Ronnie, if you're going, brother, I miss you. I love you. And rest in peace to you, man. I hope it's not true. But I've been calling the house. I haven't spoken to his mother or nothing like that. I let the phone ring. There's no answer machine, but I hope it's not true. But I was up there with Ronnie and Peter. And Peter was a golfer fishing. And Peter actually, the only one that tried to get me out, not even on the golf, he offered me to come out, but I was like, yo, Peter, that's not my stuff. That's not me, man. I'm not a golfer. You know, because he lived in near Wingfoot Golf Course in Mamaroneck in Westchester County. And Peter Strumsky, I like Peter. We did a lot of gigs together. And Ronnie and I did, you know, buku gigs. I think when Ronnie, first time I met Ronnie, he was holding court with Chris Rock at Stand Up New York. And the agent, before he put me on that gig at Cancun, it was 2 weeks in Cancun, he asked me, do I get along with Ronnie Wilkerson? He said, do you know? I said, I know Ronnie. I've heard of him. Because every road gig that I did with the white acts that I was working with, they always have a Ronnie Wilkerson story. It was purported that he had actually burned down a hotel in Miami. Now, come to find out that was a dude burning the curtain down. Excuse me. But I don't know what happened. But yeah, he burned the curtain down. The agent told me, the brother that booked him, and that Ronnie had burned it down, and he didn't burn the hotel down. But Ronnie and I were up in Syracuse and with Peter. And Ronnie, we were together because Ronnie and I got high together sometimes. And he asked me, did I want anything? He said, "Oh, gee, you want to jump? You want a jumbo?" I said, no, I'm good, Ron. Because me and Peter, we had like an 8-ball. We had Coke, regular, Coke. You snip up, powder. And, but Ronnie was going to get some rocks. Ronnie just knew where to find. I think he got crack in Mexico, in Cancun. I know I was there with Jim Brewer my last week. Jimmy Brewer is a funny, he's almost like a Jim Carrey type comic. He worked on the Uptown Comic Club. Let me see what my man was. Maybe, yeah, Brother Mom.
This is Brother Money Marv, man. Keep doing your thing while I'm on the air, but we got to wrap it up.
All right, I'm wrapping now. I'll tell this story, then it's a wrap.
All right, cool.
God bless. All right. Yeah, so, yeah, Peter and I had, like I said, 8-ball Coke. And Peter, we used to have a lot of fun when we worked. And, yeah, like I said, with Jen, I'm going all over. But Jim Brewer, we did 1 week in Mexico last week, and we had an incredible time. I'll tell that story another time. It was, one of the best, fun, times, laughing. We met a guy drunk in the street, and we were drinking with. And I don't want to get into that because it's a fun story, but it's a little crazy. But this, you wanted the crazy one. Ron asked me, "Yo, G, you want a jumbo? That's a big rock, about probably a 20 spot, a dove or whatever, maybe a little more, 50 cents, but I don't know." I told him, no, we good. Go up in the room. Long story short, I'll shorten it up because we got to wrap it up. So we go in the room, and me and Peter, we asked some girl, we had a couple of girls, white girls, hey, it is what it is. We were getting high and whatever. So we go upstairs, and Ron goes on his adventure to get, his crack. He comes back with the biggest, fattest, nastiest white, I don't know where he found her, why her? And she stank so bad coming through the door. I mean, you could smell her literally through I'm like, what the fuck? And, I'm like, yo, Ron, yo, B, she can't come in here, man. She stinks. Because he put her in the bath. He said, yo, man, I'll take care of it. He put her in the bathroom. And me and Peter, we rolling. Because we was like, where the fuck did he find her? We trying to get how we trying to do our thing. And we got the liquor and the Coke. And he got his crack and this big nasty. I mean, woo. And, if you had to use the bathroom, I'm like, yo, man, what we going to do? You got to use the bathroom. This bitch stank. I mean, I never smelled nothing like that in my, but why did he want that? He's like, yo, I don't want no blowjob. Yeah, I'm good. But yo, I want to thank y'all and wrap it up for tuning in to the George Mason Show. I don't know what happened to my guests. I'll talk about, but yeah, they selling tickets on the 10th, and they were supposed to be here to do their thing. And I got an incredible show for next week. I got Rick Overton. Rick is a major headliner. Rick is like, he's got a special on Amazon Prime as it does improv. And let me tell you, if you guys ever tried improvisational comedy, it's difficult. And comedy is like working without a net, period. But what he's doing is just incredible. And Rick was in the movie, I think, Groundhog. He's in a ton of movies. Google him, and you'll see, like, oh, shit. You've seen him. When you look at his face, oh, wow, okay. Yeah, he's been around. I've seen him with with Robin Williams went on his page, and you know the whole thing. This is who we worked up with, we grew up with, and we're gonna chop it up next week. It's gonna be Rick Overton. I'll be promoting it, and it's just gonna be him. And I know Rick is gonna be on point because that's I was not to say that Roz wasn't, but we just got our little wires mixed up on the engineering side of things. And folks, I want to say God bless you and thanks for tuning in to my show. And check out, don't forget the Money Marv Report from 10 to 12 Eastern Standard Time every Sunday night, every Sunday night. And, you know, the brother gives you content, real content, and keeps it 100 like we do here on the George Mason Show. God bless you and thank you again. Be safe. Have a good holidays and peace. More blessings.